Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and page. I greet you according to your time and according to the time you're seeing this video. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Guys, I want to use this opportunity to thank you so much for always being part of my channel. My God will bless you abundantly. So, Senator Natasha's husband have come to tell the whole world that what the wife was saying or what the wife said is the truth. Nothing but the truth. That his wife confided in him. Yes, that his wife used to tell him everything that happened between uh, the Senate president and her. So he's aware of all of the things that is happening. And the wife is not lying for anything. That all the wife said is the truth.
It says, my wife confided in me about our interactions with Akpabio. Natasha's husband reveals. That, of course, is in a number of other papers. I think Tribune also led with it. So that's staying with the story of the week, shall we say? If not the story of the month.
There says harassment.
Oh yes, I will read. Absolutely, I will read the what are they called? The riders. Says harassment persisted despite his intervention. Urges Senate Akpabio to treat his wife with respect and dignity. Saraki calls for transparent investigation. Let your husband defend himself. Natasha advises Senate President's wife. Akpabio's wife slams 250 billion naira suit against Kogi Senator. Keke, I know you'll come to this later, but we'll still look at all the other stories. But I know that this is what the Yorubas will call Ishua Tanyonyo, Yam Pepe, scatter. Everybody is now getting in the ring. The spouses are involved. I hope.
Senate President.
Former Senate President. Interesting, but your views will be very important. On top of that, just like the Akpabio story that we discussed earlier, on top of that story, Abiola family tackles Babangida, says memoir reopens wounds, painful memories. And the writers again insist lessons from June 12 have not been learned. Ishola Williams counters Babangida, says he prepared Abacha to succeed him, which of course is a way to debunk the fact that Babangida claimed that he was afraid of Abacha and the gang, that was Abacha that led the thing. But, Ishola Williams here is saying, you prepared him to succeed you. You stepped aside in 1993 August, for Abacha to come in. And then on top of that story, Atiku, fake Governor Saraki, Wike pray for peaceful United Nigeria at Ramadan. That's what that story is on page 12. This is day 2, I believe, of Ramadan. 30 days it will all be. And that's the former Vice President Atiku and the Federal Executive Council, Governor Saraki, Wike, praying for peaceful United Nigeria in the holy month of Ramadan. On top of the masthead, Adesoya writes Tinubu for amicable settlement of $2.3 billion Mambila hydro project dispute. And of course, the window story is also on the oil sector. After $5 billion Bonga North FID, federal government eyes $2 billion new investments in oil sector by end of Q1 of 2025. Those are the stories, KK. Natasha's husband has spoken. Akpabio's wife has sued. Everybody's in the ring. It's a battle royale, isn't it? KK.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
I think before all that, it will be in order to say Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
To all our Muslim viewers, as they fast. Yeah. Well, you permit me to exercise my prerogative as the reviewer.
Absolutely.
To start with what I regard as very important stories. The window, both the window story and the street behind it, the economic stories. And to try to draw a link between the two. The window story is celebrating the fact that Nigeria is eyeing, making a drive for investments in the oil and gas sectors of $2 billion dollars. The strip stories too is also an economic story, although with some legal flavor. And that story is about a case that is arbitration in Paris, and what is involved there too is over $2 billion. That is that, God forbid, if Nigeria loses that case, that means that we will be liable, to pay. What is involved, is the value, of what is in dispute there. It's a contract which is valued at over $2 billion. Now, the story, the strip story, why I said that is very important, is that more than 22 years ago, about 22 years ago, a company, Sunrise Power and Transmission Company Limited, is alleging that there was a contract between that company and the Nigerian government to build the Mambila hydropower project, which was, if it had been executed, now we'll be having about 3,050 megawatts of electricity, which will serve about 50 million people in northern Nigeria. Now, the company claimed that a contract was signed with the Obasanjo government. Later, the Obasanjo government claimed that there was no, there was no approval, that the contract was not signed. Now, Otumba Leno Adesoya now has taken the case to arbitration in Paris. The matter is still on there. Two former presidents, Olusegun Obasanjo and Muhammad Buhari, have been to Paris to testify, on a very patriotic note, on behalf of Nigeria. Former attorneys general have also been to Paris, prosecuting the case. But the news from, what is new about it now is that Otumba Adesoya has now, has reportedly, written a letter to President Tinubu, asking for an amicable settlement, of the matter, and that the president of the International Chambers of Commerce Court, which is handling the arbitration in Paris, is also favorably disposed, to settlement. Why this story is very important is that, it will be good if it could be amicably settled, and that Nigeria will not be liable, to be paying, billions of dollars. We still remember the case of P&I case, so that we don't have it in our, So I think it's something that is worth, encourage. It is encouraging, that an amicable path is being charted, to resolve the matter. Then on the Abiola, on the Babangida book, the response from the Abiola family, which was given by the first son, of Basharu Moshood Abiola, who, I say the father, the son of Basharu, the first son of Basharu Moshood Abiola, Mr. Kola Abiola, it's also a very important intervention, because just like he said, the book coming 32 years after the presidential election of June 12, 1993, has actually reopened the old wounds. But again, that brings, one, again, is to emphasize the fact that what is happening is expected. In fact, it will be strange if Babangida writes a book and it does not generate a controversy, So I think, that is what we should see. That there is nothing, surprising, about the controversy, But perhaps this now should engender, further books to be written, so that we have as many versions of the story as possible, so that future historians will have sufficient raw materials, on which there could be a rigorous, interrogation, or that conjunction in our history, so that, there will be a proper deconstruction, what actually happened, but in a more rigorous, non-partisan, form, And so, whatever you may say, Babangida is entitled to tell his own side of the story,
which he has done.
And his own side of the story that he has done is very significant, because it's a version that if you don't have it, then you cannot say that you're having a complete story, So I think that the way a more constructive view of it should be that if there are already like it's been acknowledged, there have also been other versions. For instance, the book of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, who was the chairman of the National Electoral Commission that conducted the election, is a very important one that people should also read, along with this. Just as the account of Professor Omo Omori, who was heading an agency that was very crucial, to the Babangida transition program, and so our other books. So the thing is, instead of pillaring Babangida, I think the thing should be if there are other versions, yes. And I can say that there are people who are also working on their own memoirs, their own other books that will have it, so that like I said, that perhaps those people who are not even born on June 12, 1993, who are now, part, of the controversy on the social media, so that they will be sufficiently informed, yes. And they will have ample materials, on which, they could be properly be part of the debate. Okay. Now, I'm not avoiding this, there's this old journalistic saw. I still will know that, they say sex sells, for journalism. So for news people, But I think on a more serious note, I think the counsel by the former Senate President, Bukola Saraki, is one that should be noted. And that is that in all this, yes. You have to look at the integrity and the image of the institution, because the Senate is a very, important institution, just, as the upper arm of the National Assembly, in all this, that while the rights of individuals, should be protected, but also, we must also look at the institutional, implication. Secondly, I'll endorse the view of Senator Ireti Kingibe, that in all this, that what we should be talking about is the kind of debate we should be having from National Assembly on issues. From
the interview that she granted.
Yes, and that is why I deplore, young people, on the social media and the rest, who are insulting. Excuse me. Yes, no. This is my own view. This is my own. No, you have expressed your view. This is my own view. Let me just say. I say I deplore because it's to me it is insolent. Somebody was here yesterday, saying that what Senator Ireti said is quite unintelligent. It's incoherent or whatever. That is our own view. Yes. Just as you have your own view to express. Yes, this culture of intolerance, mannerlessness, in the it should be condemned. Yes. People, if there's a debate, people have the right to express their own views. Yes. And people must show respect. You may disagree with people, but you must do it in a very decent, polite way. Yeah. That is the culture of debate in which we grow up. But this idea of leaving the argument and insulting the person who is making the argument, it should not be tolerated. It should be condemned. Again, she expressed her view. There are people who may not agree with her view, and it's legitimate for them to disagree. But you don't have to express them. Because what she's saying, and I also agree with Senator Olujimi. They are talking from very mature, experience in the position. Senator Olujimi was, the Senate.
By the way, says that the Senate is meant for the elderly.
No, I don't like the way you waited to listen to Steve. I was asking you a question, and I asked you.
Okay, I listen to you now.
View did you endorse? Yeah. That's all I asked.
Okay,
That's
exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm very sorry about that. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Now, the view that I endorse is that, which Senator Ireti made on our rights, was that Ireti King made that the Senate should be focusing on issues. if we were having controversy, in the Senate, I mean, the debate, and which the public should also join, it should be on the issues. For instance, I mean, there is the tax issue. So if people are talking, that certain senators are taking this position on the tax bill, and some other senators have different views, and me and you are saying that we support this function, and I mean, it's more productive. So he's saying that the focus of the Senate should be on issues, okay. And on that point, our position for me is unassailable.
All right. So are you saying
yes,
marginalization of women is not an issue to be discussed in the Senate, given that there are only 4 women senators in the Senate? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just asking. Because that is the grounds of many Nigerians.
No,
I have not said that. If you like to know, yeah. I'm a male feminist.
Yes. I know that. You always say
I'm a Marxist feminist. I'm telling you this.
I want to balance the topic. That's all.
I was part of the formation of the women in Nigeria more than 40 years ago. Right. I'm a feminist. So I will never support any form of oppression, or harassment of women. But I'm saying that we must draw a point, whereby the attention of a very important institution is being diverted. And like Senator, excuse me, and like Senator Saraki said, the Senate, as an institution, has the capacity to deal with this issue. The one that cannot be dealt with, like Libero said, is going to court. I mean, and if the matter is in court, let the court settle it.
Okay.
So that is the point. So I'm saying that if anybody is aggrieved from either side, if you feel it's not a matter that can be settled at the Senate, it is go to and already suits have been filed. So let the matter be settled in court, and the procedural one, the procedural one that will settle in the Senate. The Senate from from what Senator Saraki was saying, has the capacity, to resolve that, and you should explore that.
It has the capacity to resolve that issue and many other. Wait, I will take this day style, but I want to make my point, and my point is, I am quite disappointed at the fact that you don't think the issue of marginalization should not be addressed the way it should be addressed. Whether or not we are speaking... Wait, can I finish?
No,
I'm saying my opinion.
No, you can't be disappointed in what has not been suggested.
Not him. I'm disappointed at the fact that issues of marginalization should be discussed in public opinion and in the Senate. That is my point. Both, yes, quite disappointed.
Yes,
all right,
it's a balance between.
This is the balance of my conversation. All right, so we are going to take this day style at this point, and the cover picture is our Lifetime Award recipient, Mustafa Chike Obi, who is the chairman of Fidelity Bank. Mustafa Chike Obi, the cover picture says, shaping Nigeria's financial sector. And he's in that cover there holding the trophy of this day at 30. And the cover editor's note there, for someone with a career spanning over 4 decades, Mustafa Chike Obi's accomplishments in the financial sector are nothing short of extraordinary. His journey, which began in the early 1980s, has seen him become one of the most respected figures in the global investment banking and financial service landscape, with a wealth of experience accrued from working with some of the most prominent names in global finance. His expertise has shaped not only his career, but also the industries and institutions he touched. A huge congratulations to Mustafa Chike Obi.
Well, all right. Financial sector.
Well, all right. Mr. Komalafa, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show. This was quite engaging. I hope to see you next Sunday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks for your insight into the peculiar mess, because that's how Punch, kicked the story on the Akpabio Natasha thing. It's a peculiar mess, but thanks for bringing in maturity into the audience.
I'm pleased to be here.
All right, that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching, and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
And I'm Sheiton Atigari. Thank you so much for watching.
And I'm Oji Okpe. From our entire team here in Lagos.